come, sit under the tree, and share those folk stories that shape our lives. We are here to perform radio's finest ritual, and I promise you today a truly thought-provoking story. Call a friend, alert your groups on WhatsApp, because afterwards it could be a good topic for further discussions. Welcome, folks, to the ritual that I call That's My Opinion, right here on Joy 99.7 FM. So let us all gather and make truth good. Folks, our topic today, our history in the future. Our history in the future. I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of questions and a lot of hurt when I was preparing for this show. It's probably going to be one of those airtime wasting shows because sometimes, we have this habit where when a subject is so deep and so important, we have this thing of trivializing it. So this could be one of those airtime wasting shows, but it has to be done. It has to be done. Because, folks, when that day comes, I will not be excluded. Don't know about you. And I may not even be forgiven. For we have all in one way or the other contributed. Either by keeping to ourselves, keeping too quiet, not getting angry enough, or rather getting angry at trivial things, too selfish, too greedy, downright ignorant, and too divided as a people, or actually the perpetrators of the distractions going on. We have all in one way or the other contributed or played our part. Folks, there are a few who have braved the storm to take action. Too few. And even though there are too few, some of them have been too vulgar and, more interested in self-starmanship to attract any meaningful support to gather and change that we need. So in our history of the future, folks, in our history of the future, I honestly don't know the level at which we shall be judged. But if we carry on the way we are, business as usual, then I fear the worst. Folks, imagine the year 2222. Imagine the year 2222, about 200 years from today, which is also another thing that has eluded us. For one reason or the other, we are unable to think beyond breakfast. People who grew up drink her kind, all of a sudden, we forgot it. But let's today try and dig deep into our spirit and go back to who we were and think 200 years from today. Our great-great-grandchildren will be at school, sat in class, studying history. The history book will be titled Raiders of the Lost Empire or Raiders of the Lost Paradise. I think that's a better title. Raiders of the Lost Paradise. That will be the history book they will be studying. Folks, by that time, 2022 will be so history, to be so far away, they won't even believe it, that in 2022 are people still alive? And that will be you and I. Folks, I cringe at the thought of their teacher telling them why it is that they have to import some drinking water to support what they have here. Because most of the waters have been destroyed by their forebearers, who indeed inherited 1,001 clean waters, waterfalls, streams, lakes, rivers, 1,001 across the nation. Yet, in their pursuit for gold and sand, they dug out most of the waters, polluted it beyond human consumption. And in the book, there will be a chapter where the author is trying to figure out how it is that a country in peace times, no conflict, friendly with its neighbors, no espionage, yet go on a massive attack on its own water bodies, even though we believe water is life. We know water is life, but we attack it. And worst of all, the shameful part is that some of the distraction was led by foreign nationals. We brought in foreign nationals to actually lead this untold distraction. Don't want to use any vulgar words today, but this untold action, this unquestionable actions was led by foreign nationals. And they will be told that their forefathers, being us, we could not stop it. I can almost see the disbelief in their children's faces in the class. Is this teacher lying to us? The utter shock. Look, one will raise their hands and ask questions like, please, sir, I mean, at the time, did they have a president? Did they have chiefs? Did they have a police service, military? Or maybe the distractions were done on their blood side. When they woke up, the distraction had already done. And the teacher would say, no. Indeed, they had presidents and chiefs and elders and military, and they actually sent, Operation Calm Life and everything. They had all that. But their love for money, their love to win sand was more important than what they would leave for posterity. Indeed, those who were in authority who could actually stop it were the ones who were leading it. They were part of it. The history book will cite, research materials of names that dropped by, and these are powerful names who were believed to be in it. But their love for money superseded everything. They were not able to think 200 years from when they were alive. So even though they enjoyed what their fathers left for them, they did not think of leaving anything for their children. They will wonder why, in spite of knowing that the Wager Dam will flood, yet when it dries up, they will hurriedly build. They will build quickly. And when the spillage comes, they'll come running. Save us, save us, save us, save us. As soon as the dry season comes, they'll quickly rush there to build. And the children will start laughing. Was it a comedy? Was it true? And they'll be talking about us. That will be history in the future. Folks, there will be a chapter about how perpetually we went out borrowing. And we even went to countries that were far less endowed than us to borrow. We actually went to countries who are not anywhere near blessed as we were to go and borrow. The book will tell them about the opulence we indulged in, the extravagance, the convoys, tens and tens of luxury car convoy carrying leaders back and forth. Far more than the countries who bailed us out. The children will say, nah, that's not possible. It did really happen. And one of the students in the class will say that, sir, if this really is true, then our forebearers were indeed truly something else. They were indeed truly something else. These are our great-great-grandchildren sat in class and they are reading history. And some of the date they were reading, 2022, the year 2000, year 2010, that is the history they are reading. So they'll be reading about you and I, how it is that we left the nation for them. Folks, we must be worried. We must be deliberate to start grooming a generation that has fear of shame, that will be worried about what posterity will say about them. We must groom a generation that's very, very worried about what posterity will say about them. Let me lead a good life, so one day a child will be named after me. Because if we do that, if we don't, then it's end game. Folks, just imagine a worker, you work with somebody and the guy is not bothered whether when he's leaving the work, you give him a good reference, him or her a good reference or not. Then, you can imagine the sort of input the person would give you. Because after all, what? Me here reference I hear. If the person needs your reference, they are more upright, they are more willing to work more so that in case they are moving on, they can get a reference and their life is not truncated. But if the person does not care, if we don't care about the references that will be left, the names that will be left for us, we might as well start selling the country. Because it's end game. Forest cover. And the major attack, our own forest too. Yes, it will be forest. Our own forest. That will give us rainfall, will give us protection. I mean, it just literally cushions the country. The massive attack. Culture, true to us and its traditions, gradually being extinct. Folks, language has been frozen, and by then it will be frozen. No new words being added, and even the few that we have gradually dying out. Language by then will be probably 80% English and 20% whatever it is. Ewe, Ga, Chi, 20%. Folks, there will be people, like today when there's an event, somebody will come and play Adowa and they'll dance kitty for 5 minutes and you go and they say culture. Yeah, that's how in an event they will bring somebody to come there and they will read a paragraph online. And the whole place will clap. Hey, this girl is really can speak this ancient language. Indiscipline, folks, has become the norm. We are building, and after we are built, we come in to plan. We sit and watch. If anything, any inappropriate thing is going on, we sit and watch and watch and watch until we become overwhelmed. And then that negative, that illegality becomes the norm to the extent that sometimes they even demand compensation. Somebody is living under high tension. He's living under high tension and he's demanding compensation to move from under the high tension. And our great-grandchildren will say, really? Well, how were they surviving? Were they at each other? Were they cannibals? Were they at war? And the teacher will say, no. They lived in peace. But the children will say, but how can you live in peace in this chaos? And they'll probably be researching in the world and realize that, well, who else was doing this? Folks, I'm not in 2022. I'm not in 22, but I can see our great-grandchildren losing their sense of pride and belonging. They have very little originality or none. They are unable to participate in any international event because they have nothing new to introduce. They have nothing new, nothing original to bring on the table. Everything they have imported. You can't go and import Levi jeans and then when they say come to an event, you take the Levi jeans to the event. Aboriginal slaves with no identity. Aboriginal slaves living on their own land, but with no identity. And every day they wake up, they will curse us and curse us and curse us and curse us. Every time history is mentioned or any name is mentioned in the past, they will just curse us. That what a people. What a people. How did they stoop so low? How was it that they stooped so low? that for a country that God placed at the center of his creation and endowed it with everything it is possible, including the most superior ingredient, which is peace. Look, if you don't have anything at all and you have peace, you are halfway there. Yet we have everything and the peace. And so it is actually, for us, it is actually even difficult to fail than it is to pass. For us, to fail is actually more difficult than it is to pass. But we are failing miserably. So the Council of States and the big thinkers of the nation, they should probably give them a week or 2 weeks or 6 months off. And they should lock them in a room and they should start thinking. And when they come out, they should come out with new curriculum for schools, new preaching methods for churches, for mosques, everywhere. There should be a whole reset button. So we reshape the nation. Otherwise, our history, which will be about us, will be so disgusting. It will be like a comedy. It will be disgusting. It will be sickening. And our great-grandchildren will forever be asking, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? One who raised their hand and said, but you said they went to school, they were educated? I said, yes, they had degrees. They had letters, degrees. They're very educated. And yet, this is the best they could do. This is the best they could do. They lived in a tropical country and they chopped up all their tropical forests. They lived in a country that, definitely the most advantage for them was a Greek. Yet they studied English. They live on a land which was blessed with vegetation. So you know that by all means, if you are going to succeed in anything, you feed the world. I think one of the parts that will shock the children that, that sometime in 2022, there was a war between Russia and Ukraine. And the Africans sat there waiting for the Ukrainians who were under siege from Russia to bring them food. And the teacher said, yes, it happened. Your forebears living on a tropical land, they sat. And while Russia was bombing Ukraine and the international people were trying to beg that, look, let the ships leave the port so that at least they can bring some grain, we waited for grains to come from Ukraine. And the children, they will be ashamed of who they are. They will be ashamed of the stock that brought them forth. And that will be us, you and I. This can be our story. This cannot be our story. Folks, our history in the future must be different from this. 0302 216 541. Zero 0302 216 541. Our history in the future. I'm just dreading it. Great minds are gathered. It says our future is dead because of selfish, indisciplined, and individualistic citizens. The next generation will never forgive us. Rise up, youth man. Ni Toje from Tema, Newtown. Good evening. Hello, and who's my first caller?
Nana.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, first off, I'll be an ancestor by then, and I wouldn't be part of those they will blame because Second, you see, all the questions that you are asking right now, I'm asking them today You see, I'm asking them today. I always say education is supposed to enhance common sense, wisdom, and skill. But unfortunately, in this part of the world, it looks like um, these three are lost to reading books and certificates. You see, a lot of the things that happens, it's not necessarily about having certificate to know. Most of them are common sense, wisdom. It's either it's aware they are aware of what is happening and they just do otherwise. So honestly, the questions you're asking, I'm asking them right now, and I have a question too. What do we even have any guarantee that the dynamics are going to be different when that time comes? Because it looks like what's happening right now is being carried on in the children right now, and they will also carry on to their children, and the cycle follows. So, honestly, those of us who might do things a little differently will still be in a minority, and the majority will still continue with tradition. So, my question, Anna, me, I don't think the dynamics will be much different. But do you think that when that time comes, the dynamics are going to be different?
We need to be deliberate about it. We have to be deliberate about it. 0302216541. Our history in the future. We must really be deliberate about it, because the way it's going, honestly, we are going to be the the worst ancestors ever, if there were any. The worst ancestors ever, if there were any. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm Neji.
Neji.
Samsung.
Let me hear you.
Nana, I feel you asking the same questions now, like the last classes. Because first I've been told to us about how our forefathers didn't do better. And we are still asking questions that what they did wrong, and it's still the same. I thought it would be worse than what we are seeing now, because my grandfather was telling a story about the Ghana, how they didn't conquer more lands in their time, and they were saying when Trump was here, bad, they do better. Just look at that. It will be worse than now. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, but let's try and not make this our history. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm very well, Joseph.
Sometimes your program seems to be asking questions more than putting up some suggestions, because there are more questions than answers. The issue is, we the blacks and Ghanaians in particular, we are the type of people that we like to allow something to happen before we make attempts to solve problems. Fine. My question number one, are we waiting for the future to come so that our children will import water to use in Ghana as we are polluting our waters? Are we sitting down to be always importing fuel before we use fuel in Ghana? You see? I mean, we are such that it's like of our so whenever we go outside, we can borrow. So we don't seem to do something on our own. We have the natural resources with us, but we cannot make use of it just because when we borrow, they will give us. I thank you for the fact that you don't attribute your program only to the leaders, but you make us aware that every one of us is a contributor. God bless you for the program, Nana.
God bless you too. Fred says, Nana, you are not done. Well, I think it was earlier. I said, you're not done, but I feel like today's message is one of the most intriguing. It sounds so realistic what our great-grandchildren will say if we don't do anything new. 0302216541. Hello, who's on the phone?
Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well. Who am I talking to?
My name is Nico John, calling from Adenta.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Now, you see how when you want to request for, let's say, a visa, and they tell you bring your statement. The statement shows your past transactions, which would help, to aid in you getting there. But at the same way, if we want our past to be better, for our grandchildren, so that when they are referring to it in the future someday somehow, they would see that, okay, the current people leading us, or the current leaders in this country did this and this and that and that and that. I think it takes a deliberate effort to do that. I don't see that happening now. I wonder what our grandchildren will speak of us now. We are all part of it. We are not the leaders, no. But the earlier, I don't know whether we can do something about it. The earlier we do something deliberately, the better. Otherwise, it will be so sad. So sad. Nana, God bless you.
God bless you too, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana Yankada.
That's it.
You, Nana. Hello?
Yes, well, how many?
Nana. My question here is, do we have education at all?
We probably have schooling. Let me hear you.
We don't have education, okay? Because let's look at the West. The British have their own education to develop themselves. The Germans had their own education to develop themselves. The Chinese did same, and they have gotten to where they have gotten to. Where is ours? No? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I'm hearing you, my brother.
Yeah, where is ours? What kind of education are we having? Are we following the people who have already made it? Because they have their own education to suit their own civility. And we don't have. We are educated to do the bidding of our colonial masters. So until we rediscover our own education, let's look at the Asian tigers. Let's look at the Chinese. Until when they rediscover their own education and they have gotten to where they have gotten to. What kind of education are we having? Education of corruption? Education of backbiting? Education of selfishness? Is that what we want? No. We need to redefine our own education to suit us as Africans, as Ghanaians. We are living in a tropical, geographical area of the world. What does it suit us to live in this place? Have we discovered it? Until we go back to learn where we are coming from and where we want to go, we can never make it. Because the kind of education we have been given is corrupted education. And we can never make it until we rediscover our own education.
Thank you very much, my brother. Yogi in Edmonton says, Nana, when it gets there, prayers will be the order of the day. They will pray more than we are doing now. And that's Yogi. It's a very scary reality. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, I'm called Etonam.
Etonam, let me hear you.
Yeah, Nana, today's program goes for the youth. Because I could remember when Odike spoke on one of the radio stations, the youth attacked him about Galamsey. But today when I heard joint news, they were complaining that people are going to Companoche for heart something. Have you seen what we are doing now? Thank you.
Thank you. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, Abu Muhammad from Zafon.
Let me hear you, my brother.
You see, these future children or future leaders we are talking about, they are being corrupt from now. Right now. These are the children that Abu Boya carries them to school. Anybody who put up some school under some shade somewhere will go and find some Chenchema car. And that car is school bus. And they will pack these future leaders into these cars to school. These are children that in their presence, people give police bribe when they are in trouble with their parents, and they see that it is the norm to give a police officer bribe. This is a child that when he commits something in the school and the teacher wants to punish him, this child is ready to give bribe. You understand? So somebody said the only thing that left for these future children is prayer, because they learn nothing. Nobody learn any skills. It's not like the days that they do this Anansi in the evening. They gather you like Mami Dokuni used to do. Today, when you watch the television, you see naked people. Thank you very much. In fact, thank you.
Thank you too for listening, and I thank you for calling. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Please, how are you doing? And how is Ohine?
She's very well.
And our daughter.
Yeah.
Right, we thank God. Right. Nana, one thing is, whatever as any human being or as any person you want in life, you have to make sure that you live towards it, and then in the end, it becomes a better result for you. And so, whatever we are doing today, it's what we should expect that we'll get, the answer that we should expect to get. It's coming out of what we are doing today. And there should be nothing that should stop it, or there isn't anything that can stop it, because whatever pattern that we are, leading today in our lives, it's whatever that will reflect tomorrow. So if we are doing any wrongdoing, nevertheless, whatever we are doing, our generation will also copy it and do. So we should try and do the right thing from now. That is it. And then our generation will be better. And even when we fault and we know that this isn't the way we're supposed to do it, we should change from it and then do the right thing. Because whatever goes around comes around. Thank you, Nana. God bless you.
God bless you too. 0302216541, our history in the future. Hello, who am I talking to?
Nana, please, this is Foster.
Foster, let me hear you.
My little suggestion is this. Our forefathers, when they were engaged in slave trade, they did not have the knowledge that we have now. So they can be forgiven. We have gone to school, one of the best schools in the world, gained knowledge, and look at what we are doing. Our grandchildren, great-grandchildren will never forget us. Forgive us, that we knew all this knowledge, but we refused to apply it. It is not gaining the knowledge, but applying it as wisdom. That is what is most important. So I don't know. We have all the knowledge that we need to develop this country, but we just refuse not to develop it. Well, we are being greedy. No problem. When they read the history about us, we will see how they'll judge us. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, my brother. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Let
me hear you.
Nana, I'm going to hit this nail right on the head. Anybody that enters the forest to mine natural resources, right, that belongs to the whole state, should, when the military go inside, they should shoot to kill, not shoot to maim. They should shoot to kill. Now, you see, we are joking with this. It's getting to a point where research shows that water, which is life, is being threatened. And these same politicians who are telling us they are trying to fight the issue are the same politicians who are going to claim to procure this water for the country. Nana, I don't know what to tell Ghanaians right now, but for me, the only message I keep on telling everybody that's close to me is MPP and NDC cannot solve Ghana's problems. We all know the MPP big shots might be involved in this Galamsey stuff, and when they change and NDC comes, it's going to be their turn. These people are taking us for a run. They can afford perhaps living outside. They can afford it. How many citizens can afford going outside to go and say, Mr. Mekosana or something? Let's face facts and let's vote these people out. I'll just entreat Ghanaians. It's absurdity to keep on doing the same things, but we expect different results. Year in, year out, we go vote for MPP. They have a peaceful reign. Nobody stops them. They come with excuses. NDC will come. They come and do the same thing. Why can't we challenge the status quo? Why can't we vote outside? What stops us? What are we afraid of? We've realized the so-called prolific people can't administer the country. The lawyers can't. The doctors can't. The renowned professors can't. So we need common people. We need the masons. We need the carpenters to work because they know how things work. They know I need to fix this here. They know I need to put this here. I believe the search for the common Ghanaian or the common man and woman to govern is on. And we should do that in the next coming election. I'm sick and tired of this. Why? How can you be destroying something that is supposed to be a blessing to you? How? And we go and take loans. The natural resource, the gold, you go and mint it and take paper currency. What kind of sense is in this? Come on, it's absurd. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for being loyal and calling. Thank you very much. I'm mixing your boy bros barbecue. Hello, yes, who's talking to me?
Okay, Nana Kwesi.
Nana Kwesi, let me hear you.
Medium may be simple. See, we have to deal with the genesis. And dealing with the genesis means that we have to change doing certain things. Bible ni Quran, Nana, is okay. Yeah. Sisiano, let's add the Antoines and no more counting in Nana. They are very, very effective quick action. Yeah, for Munina if you are occupying any public space, they're swearing in and all that, they will be sitting there. Anything that you say will pour near the way you go, if you miss a now simple. Nana, Bible ni Quran, and only a tune for how many decades now, and how far has about that? Let's add this ones too, at least. And also become who says to it, and it's an end who say, yeah, any hope. Obia, everybody will be included. Me, I will be included. Everybody, if you drop the pure water on the floor, it be now. If you do anything you're not supposed to do, it be now. Good evening.
Good evening. Sounds like a joke, but I'm telling you, say, hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, this is Peter T.
Peter T, let me hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Sukura, Accra.
Good.
Anyway, thank you for your good job you've been doing for some time now.
Thank you.
I just want to disagree with one of your callers. I think the last but two callers who wanted to do politics with your program, that NDC, NPP, none of them can do anything for this country. I disagree with that because countries are being governed by policies, not just policies, good policies and programs. So we need to be doing some comparison. Which party comes today and which party comes tomorrow? What is the party's policies and programs? Are they meeting the demands of the people? Those are some of the questions. Because if you look at things that are happening today in this country, it is telling you that somebody has promised us to do something. And now that the mantle has been given to him, he has failed Ghanaians.
I think my guy was talking about the sum total. If we nitpick, you by all means find good and bad good. We don't say 100% everybody is evil, but this is the sum total, my brother.
Exactly. What I'm also saying
this is the sum total.
My brother, Nana.
Yes.
I think you are not getting my picture.
No, I get you. You're trying to say that maybe one administration was better than the other and the other is better. I'm saying that for us, we are looking at the sum total, taking the good and the bad. This is it. And in 200 years' time, they won't sit in class and say that, oh, no, there was a 4-year period that the city did not depreciate. No, they will look at it and look at the waters. We are importing water. We don't have enough food. We have land, but we didn't plant cotton for our own dressing. Instead, we went to buy foods. I mean, that's how they will judge us. They will not be looking at this person and that person.
Nana, exactly what I was also coming to.
Okay.
Because my point is that is why I was using policies and programs.
Okay.
And I can tell you that today you are there and you are championing the cause of this program. And I can tell you that somebody may take over from you tomorrow, and comparison will come in here. Okay, who did better and who is doing better or who is not doing it at all? So what I'm saying is that our leaders are making us to look like we are fools because ministers, people are chopping money, and they are not holding them responsible. They are not. Making them to know that the money that you are beating your hands in are money for the country, for the people. This is our economy. This is what is growing our economy. Look at this Chinese woman that has been dealing with this country, with this Galamsey matter, has been arrested for several times. You ask yourself that who is there that has given her another opportunity to enter this country and continue with this job? Taking our monies away. Somebody must be held responsible. That is what I'm saying. If it is wrong, we should say that it is wrong. If we want to deepen it to partisan politics, then I think that we are not helping the program.
Thank you very much, my brother. And my last caller, who is talking to me?
This is Martin Fiano calling from Medina.
Martin, let me hear you.
Thanks very much, Nana, for raising a serious issue, which, if not tackled, will make the future very bleak. Just as the meteorologists do, they study the current condition, weather conditions, and that enables them to make forecasts. The issues you brought up are likely to jeopardize our future and even kill all of us, that is our offspring, for nobody to survive if they are not tackled. The water bodies have been polluted. Arsenic, mercury is going deep into the water table, and it is sinking deep into our crops. So now even it is reported that our cocoa is known to now have high levels of heavy metals in them. So in the next near future, our cocoa will be rejected. Recently, a tech professor published that fufu is seen now to cause cancer. The ingredients used for this, a lot of people may think the professor is making an exaggerated claim, but it is probable that the ingredients that he used for his analysis were crops grown on polluted land. So all the ingredients, the cassava, the plantain, even the fish, would have high levels of poisonous metals in them, which when consumed will certainly cause cancer. I don't think it's an exaggerated claim. Very soon it has been predicted we would import water. Probably it will even happen before our generation ends.
A very sad reality. Very, very, very sad reality. Unforgivable sin. Saturday, 8th of October. Womba, Womba. Bloby, 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 Womba. It's a homecoming for all Accra Academy Old Boys Association. We're going to gather at the school. There's going to be live band sword cutting for the construction of the alumni complex. The tennis competition, live performance from Bloby musicians. And even non-Bloby guys are invited. Sammy Odame is a Bloby. Israel Jacob is a Bloby. I think Blow, we've contributed a lot to multimedia power. I am a Bloby. They have built great nations of men. So 8th of October, Saturday, Womba. The Bleo Homecoming 2022. You can't miss this event. But our history in the future. Council of State, people are complaining plenty. Council of State, Kramo Advice President, but these are all eminent men. I mean, look at Samuel Kujetu. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a whole, knowledge and wisdom on legs. Let him chair it. Let's lock them, St. J, the peninsula. Lock them there. And they should think, and come out with policies which the president cannot say advice. We have to act on it. Act on it. Change the way we are educating the young ones who are coming. Concentrate more on form and character. So that when they grow up, they have a big fear of shame. And they knew that anything negative will be tagged to them. That they will protect all their names and live upright. So that they make sure that whatever it is we leave for them, they would straighten it and improve it before they hand it over. So that when history is being told in 22, they will say that generation woke up one day and they turned things around. In the meantime, in between time,